start with Zach and go to Mike.
You guys have talked all year about, how your expectations were always kind of this high, to be on this sort of stage playing in games like this. But were there any moments for you along the way, whether it was after a game, whether it was maybe sometime in the spring, when you sort of felt validated in that ambition, when you looked around and you thought, we all believe in this, but now we know we can play at that level?
Yeah, I would just say fall camp was kind of the turning point. Everybody had that belief no matter what. It was just a matter of fact of, putting the pieces together, building the camaraderie that we needed. So, spring ball, a lot of faces weren't here. We went to the spring portal, and some guys getting back from injury. So once we got in the fall camp and everybody just kind of got rolling together, I think we all kind of had that sense that this could be a special team.
Yeah, you've used the 4-3 look a little bit more the last 4 weeks with Elijah Hardy. What have you seen from him kind of as the season's gone on, and what do you guys think that 4-3 look gives you as opposed to just you and Jalen on the field?
It definitely gives a lot of versatility to the defense. Some teams like to use different personnel groupings, and I think it just helps us being able to have, different schematic things to, put forth as we go on at each game. But I think the thing with Elijah is he's just been a sponge. He's gotten in that room, and he's wanted to learn every single thing. Everything that me and Jay Walk say, he's always listening. And he's really impressive. He's a really good player. A really smart player, and he's impressed a lot of people. I know that, and he's just a great player and one that we're very fortunate to have in our room.
We'll go to Seth next, and then Todd.
Yeah, Aiden, as this week has gone along and this game is getting closer, how are you kind of going about balancing, it's just another game versus, wanting to actually take in some of these moments and appreciate the spot you're in?
The thing for me is, I'll look back on this game and this season once it's all done. Right now, I'm just trying to keep my focus on, getting to the game first, and then just make sure that we come out on top. So I'll look back once the season in total is over, and then I'll reflect on it. But right now, I'm just kind of focused on Notre Dame.
Todd on your left, and then Will.
Aiden, Mikhail Kamara with us has projected confidence from the beginning. I mean, he's kind of embodied, a lot of what this team has been all about, and he's, conveyed that very confidently from the start. What is he like as a teammate? What is he like in terms of how he talks with you guys, and how does he kind of embody what this team has accomplished this year?
First off with him, the numbers speak for themselves. He's a phenomenal player once he's on the field, but what he brings off the field is really special. He's a really good leader. He's a great teammate, and one that just brings energy every day. He's always checking in on people, making sure everybody's good. He's a great player, but I think he's an even better person. He's just such a great teammate to have around.
Will on your right, and then Zach B.
Aiden, yesterday Coach Haynes was talking about how much he trusts you over the last 2 years, and then how helpful you are in practice to coach these guys almost as much as he does. Mm-hmm. What gives you the confidence to do that each and every single day?
I would say it starts at the top. Coach Sig believes in me a lot. That kind of funnels down to Coach Haynes and the guys in my room. So as long as they believe in me, I'm gonna have that confidence to kind of help them out. And I would just say the prep that I put in myself, how hard I work, and making sure that I have things cleaned up and shored up for myself. That way I'm good to project it on other people and kind of lead by example and show them the way and how I got to where I'm at now.
Stay on your right with Zach B, and then go to Jim.
Coach Haynes yesterday mentioned how it's really difficult to stop a running quarterback like Riley Leonard. What's the key for you guys defensively to slow him down and slow down the running game of Notre Dame?
Yeah, the first thing is you want to just keep everybody in front of you. They do a great job with their rushing attack. So our biggest thing will be, the same thing we've played with all year, great angles. You watch a lot of film. He's a great player. You watch a lot of film on him. A lot of people take really bad angles on him. I think he's even talked about, some people just think he's slower than he is just based off his position, but he's a really good athlete. He's got to make sure we take good angles to him, and once we get to him, and make him pay the price for carrying the ball.
Jim on your left, and then Ravi.
Aiden, well, every unit has to perform for Indiana to win this game. What have you seen in watching film on Notre Dame from their offense in total that Indiana has to do from a defensive standpoint to win the game?
We got to stop the run. It's something that we're very prideful in here as a defense, and then something that they're really good at on offense. So it's going to be a really good matchup. Our biggest thing is just, like I said, take those smart angles, attack when it's there, and make sure we stop the run first of all.
Ravi on the right, and then Joe.
Yeah, you got named All-American, D'Angelo All-American, Kamara All-American, Works top-rated QB among playoff quarterbacks. Just kind of like, What's the sense of pride and accomplishment all you guys have made in coming from different levels, go to the Big Ten, get it done?
You know, first, just with team success comes that individual success. So as long as the team's doing well, you know, obviously your players are going to reap the benefits of that. But definitely a sense of pride, you know, especially where we came from and how hard I know everybody here has worked to get to this point. So it's a blessing, and, you know, all glory to God for putting me in this position. And it's just something that I think I've worked really hard at, and I'm really prideful about.
We'll go Joe third on your right, and then Pete.
And when we've talked to the coaches, whether it's Sig or Haynes, they've mentioned how the Ohio State game was a big learning point, a lot of lessons from that. What would you say is the most important lesson you learned from that Ohio State game in preparation for this Notre Dame game?
Yeah, there's a lot of distractions going into that game. A big game with a hostile crowd, and it's just something that we got to learn how to manage and handle. You know, going into this game, it's no different than the Ohio State game. It's a big game, one with, you know, obvious huge implications, but at the end of the day, it's just another game that we got to prep for like we did for the past 12 games. So just learning from our mistakes from the Ohio State game, things that we got hit on. You know, we've had 3 weeks to clean up and shore up, so we'll be ready to, you know, take that lesson and put it to use Friday.
We'll go Pete far left, and then Jack.
Aiden over here. I'm just curious, how much fun is it to play in this defense? What do you like about it? And I know this is not the offense with the quarterback, but do you have, you know, input not necessarily on the game plan, but like make some suggestions? Hey, I'd like to do this, or we can do this. Do you have any input at all?
So first question, playing this defense, I don't know if you can find a player in that locker room that doesn't have fun playing this defense. First, you're on a top-rated defense. You're making plays every Friday, Saturday, and, you know, you're having fun just playing with the guys that you care a lot about. And just seeing the emotion that, you know, playing this defense brings. You're flying around, you're hitting people, you're making big plays, interceptions, you know, sacks. Playing an explosive defense obviously is a lot more fun than just playing at one that, you know, you're going to give up 2 to 3 yards of carry and then you're off the field. Like, we want TFLs, we want sacks, we want the explosives. So, you know, I don't know how anybody would not want to play in this defense. It's a lot of fun. And then to my input, me and Coach Haynes talk a lot. We'll send each other text messages, you know, show each other different things we see over the weekend from different teams. So we'll be able to kind of, I get my input there, just talking to Coach Haynes and seeing things that he likes, and just kind of going from there. So just a little bit of input, just make sure that me and him are communicating at a high level.
Last one to Jack on your left.
Yeah, Aiden, going into a big game like this, how do you try to manage your emotions to where obviously you're excited for the game, but you don't want that to sort of, you know, take over things? How do you manage that personally?
You know, back to the Ohio State game, you know, you feel a feeling of losing again. So I know a lot of the guys here, you know, the JMU guys, the coach staff, I think we've lost 3 times the last 2 years. So it's not a feeling that we like and not a feeling that we want to repeat. So managing your emotions comes from that. You know exactly what it takes to, you know, win a game, and you know kind of the mistakes that you made to, you know, lose the Ohio State game. So just making sure you're staying level the entire time. You know, we're going to make good plays. You know, sometimes we're going to give up bad plays. In the grand scheme of things, you just got to stay leveled and make sure that you're focused on the next play as soon as the whistle's blown.
Great. Thanks, Aiden.
Thanks, guys.